Yo, what's up, guys? And today we are looking at the Modern Warfare 2 Open PC beta that just launched Thursday, September 22nd. And I thought we would go ahead and fire off just a first impressions video. How I felt playing the game, how I feel about certain different aspects of the game, and just to kind of give you my thoughts to my community. Now, we're going to do this again after the beta concludes on Monday. That has like a total, like, educated, more experience in the game feeling and kind of like explanations at that point. But I just wanted to get something like this out to where, like, how I feel initially. So we're gonna kind of just go point by point and talk about certain aspects of the game and how I feel about them currently, and then, like I said, we'll revisit them after the beta and see if those feelings change at all. So first and foremost, just firing up the game, the first thing that we see is the UI. The UI is noticeably different, as you guys are going to be able to see on your screen right now. I'm in a socials tab, but right here is like the games tab, and then everything is just a lot different. How you navigate, if you look on the left side of your screen, there's like these three tabs that on my mouse and keyboard, I navigate with the scroll wheel. That's a little odd. I don't dislike it. It's just different, really, than I've ever experienced in any other Call of Duty, and upon launching the game, I was a little bit confused. I didn't really know where to go because I just had this giant thing on my screen, which, if you guys know, obviously messages of the day were always at the bottom right hand corner of Modern Warfare 2019. Well, it has a lot more real estate in this game, so this confused me a little bit, but obviously scrolling down, you get kind of to the standard playlist of this beta that you have to choose from. Right now we have Invasion, Knockout, and Prisoner Rescue. And then, of course, just down here, it just shows you that you're in the open beta. And then eventually we're going to get Warzone 2.0, which is really exciting. So to that end, I would say that this initial UI was a little bit confusing, but once I got it, it makes a lot more sense now. Expanding upon the UI, at the top right, there's several different tabs, which, again, this is a first impressions video, so I haven't gone through them in depth. The friends list tab is a little bit also confusing in terms of how you to add new friends, which isn't completely streamlined yet. Maybe that's just because it's a beta. But joining and leaving parties, once I got it down, it's not that hard, but I think initially getting it, I was a little confused. But other than that, it seems like it's working as intended. Beyond just like standard crashes in a beta, the UI is pretty good, I would say, for the friends list and all of that. I don't hate it. It's just different. I'm sure it'll take time to adjust. The settings is great. I think that the settings is super streamlined. The ability, and we're gonna have a separate settings video probably tomorrow. But yeah, that was pretty easy to kind of get your hands on. They made all of the different settings just pretty standard, and I had no issues with that at all. So UI for that was pretty smooth. And then, of course, there's like a Gunsmith UI that we're going to be looking at, which that's a little confusing. And then there's the in-game. The in-game HUD is really good. Now, in terms of looking at like how the game is playing itself, which is, I think, the big reason that a lot of people are watching first impressions videos, how do you feel about the gunplay? I actually love the gunplay. I think that the gunplay is really solid. I thought it felt a little clunky at first because I was so used to slide canceling. But as I played more and more, I actually don't hate the movement in this game. It's definitely not Modern Warfare 2019. It's definitely slower. It's definitely not as, you're not going to be breaking as many cameras, but it's still possible. That's the thing. I don't think that people realize that if you get certain movement mechanics down, like slide canceling and bunny hopping, you can just time things and you can break cameras in this game. So I think that the movement's a little bit slept on in this game, and I think as time goes on, people will break out and with more and more different ways to use movement to kill people. So in that aspect, I'm not as critical as maybe some other creators and streamers are about the movement. I don't think it's awful, but obviously it's just not Modern Warfare 2019. The guns themselves feel really solid. I think that's probably the strongest selling point. So if you guys are in my Twitch chat, we're doing this while we're live on Twitch, twitch.tv/JoshBarracks. Maybe get like a little banner down here. I think that the gunplay is the biggest selling point of this game. I think that that's going to be the reason that a lot of people want to play this game, especially at the beginning, is not only is it Call of Duty, and the way that the Call of Duty gunplay has been traditionally in over a decade of just, cult following, 2 decades now, it still feels really good. I would say that it's the best gunplay that we've had since 2019, and arguably the way that the guns feel, I think gives 2019 a run for its money. I don't want to say off the bat that it's better because I think about the way that the Grau feels iron sights. I think about the way that an MP5 feels hip fire. I'm not ready to make that claim yet, but I do think that the guns visually look better. But the actual way that they fire and the way that they handle, if it's not better than 19, it's pretty close. Definitely better than Cold War. Definitely better than Vanguard. And it's not even close. So a big A+ on just overall gun plays, gun mechanics. Absolutely love them as my initial perspective on it. I am really enjoying it. The recoil, visually speaking, that's a little crazy. There is a lot of recoil from what I can tell. Now, we don't have access to like all of the things. That's something that I'm not seeing a whole lot of people talk about. That's like saying a level 30 automaton has a lot of recoil in 2019. It's like, well, you don't have everything unlocked yet, right? So I don't know. Again, initial perspective, I don't have everything unlocked, so I just don't know. But there is a lot of recoil. There's a lot of visual recoil. There's a lot of muzzle flash getting in the way of the gun shooting. Not super crazy about that. Maybe they'll tone that down after the beta. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that, but possibly if enough people kind of talk about that. It does feel like it's very obstructive visually when you're shooting. Hopefully there's some revisions on that, but that's just kind of the way that I think that feels overall. Drop shotting, right? I think I can see somebody in the chat talk about that. Drop shotting feels pretty good. You can actually continue to ADS all the way down to the ground, which is something that I think they were trying to change in 2019. But you can do that in this game, and I think if you effectively drop shot in this game, you're going to be a lot more successful than maybe in 2019. So shout out to that. We do like the drop shot. There's also a mantle mechanic where you can shoot with a pistol or a secondary while mantling. I got a kill with it earlier. It's pretty fun. And I could see that being utilized in just very niche situations. I mean, if you're camping with it, I don't think it's going to go great for you. But maybe if you're being chased, you rotate out, mantle, hold your gun, and you have good cover. So I could definitely see that happening and getting some exciting plays for that. Even like on a highly competitive level, I could see people getting really, really cool clips like that. So moving on from the actual gunplay, let's just talk about like overall gameplay when you're inside of the game. There are a lot of pros, but there's also there are some cons for sure. And I know you've probably at this point, if you're watching this, you're more than likely in my community. But if you're, if you're in the COD community, you've probably heard some of this before. No red dots on the map kind of feels strange for Call of Duty, because I think a lot of us are just used to that. And a lot of us use that to make decisions on where to rotate in the map, especially if you've just wiped half the team or two-thirds of the total team, you can use red dots to plan out where to rotate in multiplayer. So without that, it feels like you're kind of in the dark a lot of the times. But I mean, to the opposite side of that, I would say that the audio is so good that you could probably track down any gunshots using your ears. So there's that. But it does feel odd not having red dots on the map. To that end, with audio, footsteps are loud as shit. It's crazy. But so I'm not super crazy about that, because I just feel like if I'm in a fight, I'm going to get pushed by a lot of people because people can hear exactly where I'm at. So it's like that to that end, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the footstep audio. I feel like it could probably get toned down just a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely not going to go in the pro column for me. There's a perk called Last Stand, or Survival, that is basically Last Stand. I don't know what they're thinking adding that back to the game, but basically if you get down in multiplayer, you can self-res, which is crazy for S&D type game modes. So I think we're playing Prisoner Rescue, which is S&D type, no respawn. It's just a huge advantage. I don't know why they added that back, but I haven't seen it game breaking yet. I could just see it in the future, people being like, what is this and why do we have this in the game? So I just thought I would identify that really quickly. Survival seems a little crazy. That's pretty much it for general gameplay. I just want to really reiterate about the first perspective of mine is that I do like the way that everything feels more than I dislike it on my first impressions, especially the way that the guns feel. Moving on to specific game modes that we have available to us. We have Invasion, which is ground war. We have Knockout, which is eliminating the opposing force or holding the package to win. No respawn. Teammates can revive each other. This is both small and large maps, and it's basically your traditional S&D. And then Prisoner Rescue, which is the kind of the mode I was speaking about earlier. I really enjoy this mode. I think Prisoner Rescues is really cool. It's a new twist on S&D, but you have to get this hostage out, and you can use secondaries while you're carrying the hostage, which I think is super duper cool. So big fan of Prisoner Rescue right now. Invasion, it's got a lot of bots in it right now, so I don't think we've got a really good feel for this. I will say with Invasion, you can get in like helicopters and stuff, which is really fun. I don't see myself playing this game mode a lot. If you're a ground war guy, you're gonna love this. If not, you're probably not gonna like it, but I think everyone kind of knew that going into this in any COD game. In terms of these, I think these are playing really well. Standard, I'm a Warzone guy, I'm a BR guy, so maybe it's just my lack of like knowing a comparison, but I'm having a lot of fun playing Prisoner Rescue, and if you haven't tried it, I recommend trying it. I'm enjoying it profusely. TDM is good. It's TDM, so as long as you're enjoying the gunplay and all that, you're going to enjoy TDM. And then we have Domination. My criticism for Domination is that the time to kill is so fast, which is something we didn't really touch on in general gameplay. The time to kill is so fast in this game that Domination can be a little tough because there's really no reason not to just hold angles on flags. Not that there ever was a reason to do anything else, but especially in this game, it's just you kill so quick that if once you hold an angle, unless you just miss shots, you're going to hold that angle for a while. So Domination does feel a little bit stale in the way that there's not a lot of movement on the map. It's going to be a lot of the same lane pushes. But other than that, I really enjoy these game modes. I'm going to give it a B plus even for these game modes. I'm enjoying them. Again, we'll revisit this after this video and see how I feel at that point. But W game modes, I'm happy about it. All right, guys, now to touch on the Weaponsmith in the Modern Warfare 2 beta. Now, just to be completely honest, after 3 hours of gameplay, I still haven't really grasped the gun system, specifically the specific perks. As you can see on your screen, obviously there's like it just has your underbarrel, your muzzles, your barrel, your laser, your optics, and then you can choose from them just like anything else. The UI is okay. I kind of low-key like the 2019 Modern Warfare version of, attachments and all of that a little bit more. This seems like, I don't want to use this, I don't want to say it like this, but I just, for lack of a better term, it's almost like MOBA, almost like a mobile game kind of way that it looks. So, but other than that, it's fine. It's good. And I just don't know enough about the attachments. Obviously, I'm going to build my ranged weapons, not with like ADS in mind, looking for more range and recoil control. That's pretty standard. But you know how it goes with Call of Duty. Eventually, people will get into weapon testing, and we'll find out exactly what cons and pros are actually functioning as intended, and then we'll go from there. So I don't have any like criticism about that specifically, just because I don't have the weapon testing underneath my belt. But visually speaking, the Gunsmith is cool, right? I mean, you have your 5 different attachments that you can use across your different sections, your rear grips, your stock, etc. And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The guns are leveling up super quickly, and then that's really cool, right? I mean, I think traditionally in the last couple of years of COD, it has taken absolutely forever to level up anything, and I don't think that that's going to be an issue here in Modern Warfare 2, which is really cool. Now, there's a big introduction to a new system to the Gunsmith, which is called Receiver. So let's take a look at that. Right now, I have the Tempest armament, the M4 Receiver. This is going to be your AR receiver. While I'm leveling up this receiver, it's also going to be leveling up other guns as well. Now, I know I'm not sure if I'm wording this correctly, and I'm still kind of grasping this, but basically, as I level this up, other things are simultaneously leveling up, so I do not have to go into, say, an M16 and level everything up over again. I just need to level up the gun to unlock said attachments. The attachments themselves are unlocking while I'm unlocking the receiver. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Hopefully I'm explaining it correctly. I'm still kind of learning it, but TLDR, just like as an overview of it, there's going to take a lot less time to level up every attachment for every gun, which is a W if you hate grinding guns. Me. So there's that. Alternatively, you can use your receivers to turn existing guns into other playstyles. So if I wanted to use let's say an FTAC Recon receiver on my M4, that's going to change the way that we can build the weapon. It's going to change the way that we're going to level up the gun. And we can start level, as you see, it just went to level 1. We can change, we can start over and start progressing a new gun. And that'll actually unlock other guns in the future. Again, a little confusing. But overall, I don't hate the system, man. I think it's cool. I think it's a new way to level up guns. And as somebody who loves progression, I used to play World of Warcraft, Diablo 2 Resurrected even. I love leveling up and feeling like I'm unlocking things with a system in place. I think that this Gunsmith system actually does that pretty well. I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 just yet because I don't know enough about it, but it's a new thing. It's a new way to do things, and I'm all for that. So I don't hate it. The Gunsmith is pretty cool. And we'll revisit it on Monday and see how we feel then. But absolutely do not hate the existing Gunsmith. So overall, how do I feel? What are my first impressions? My first impressions are that I'm impressed. I'm enjoying the game. At first, I was nervous because the movement didn't feel the same as 2019. And I thought, well, I love 2019. Maybe I'm not going to love this game as much. I started to get a little worried about that. But as I played more and more and more, learned the maps more and more and more, I am hopeful. I'm optimistic. I think that this could be the next era of Call of Duty. We have a lot of information still left to be seen. I haven't finished playing the beta. I've only been playing for a couple of hours, but I'm feeling good about it right now. And of course, we have to see DMZ mode. We have to see Warzone 2. There's still so much information for us to still get. But as I'm sitting here in this chair 3 hours after the beta launches, I'm feeling pretty good about it. So I hope that this video was somewhat helpful to you guys. I know it wasn't just as traditional, educational. This is all the information. I just wanted to share with you my initial thoughts on it. Hopefully this was good for you. If you guys want to be reminded that we're going to be doing the actual breakdown of the game at the beginning of the week after the beta, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if it was helpful to you, and I will see you in the next one.